Hello everybody, me again. I just want to talk to you about electrics. Now, the problem with electrics is that they can kill you, basically. And one thing I've noticed when I bought this property, I went round several other properties, you know, with the thing of actually wanting to buy them. And one thing I always check on is the electrics of the house, and I was amazed at how many properties still had old electrics in and the old fuse boxes, and no residual circuit breakers on them, which is a safety feature of all modern electrics. So if you buy a modern house, it's more than likely got, well, it will have, due to regulations, circuit breakers on, which actually protects you and the appliance that you're using. Now, on the houses that I've seen are the old fuse boxes where you had to put a piece of wire across and screw them down and put the actual fuse back into the box itself, which offers you no protection at all. And I think out of sort of 10 properties I saw, there was about 4 or 5 that had the old fuse boxes. So the thing is that it offers you no protection if there's anything wrong with your appliance. And this is one such appliance that you use, which is an electric. This is about 201s, but this machine has got a story to it. This is a 1580, and it's basically just the same as the 201-3. It's got the same motor on, got the same light at the back, and it came to me. So very nice machine. It's knee operated, absolutely smashing. Now, when I came to it, there were several problems, and the problem is that with all these machines of this age, they have to be rewired. No ifs or buts, no thinking, oh, I can get away with it. And the reason for that is that the insulation on the cable is vulcanized rubber. Now, this rubber is now between 60 and 90 years old, totally perished in places, and I can guarantee that once you start stripping this machine down for it to be rewired, you will find a fault with it. And I've seen some absolutely horrendous cases of where the perishing has been so bad that there are live wires just within a millimetre or so of the body of the machine, which would turn it into a live machine. And if you were to grab it on the old fuse boxes, you have no protection, and you would most likely be electrocuted and possibly killed. So these machines have to be rewired, and you see this a lot on YouTube, and they advise you, oh yes, you just rewire it like this, like that, and it all seems very straightforward. Yes, it's very straightforward for a qualified electrician. It's very straightforward who's somebody who's got a good working knowledge of electrics. Now, I have a good working knowledge of electrics. I'm very careful with it, but I will not show anybody how to rewire a motor. I am not qualified to do so, and I take my responsibilities seriously on passing on knowledge. It would be alright somebody with a one-to-one, but certainly I would not put it on YouTube on how to wire these machines. And I'll show you why with this machine. You would be perfectly happy, wouldn't you, in buying this machine. It works perfectly, but I can tell you that what can happen with this machine, it's a death trap. Okay, and I'll show you why, because somebody has rewired the actual cable to the machine incorrectly, and I'll show you what happens. one other thing that they do on YouTube is they use the same coloured cord for wiring the motors and all of this. They use the same coloured cord. These are colour-coded machines on the actual wiring for a reason, and it's a safety reason, and people seem to think that they can just give advice on the sense that you just use one colour of cable which does everything. I'm sorry, I totally disagree with that. They should be colour-coded, and I'll show you on the 2012s in a moment what I'm on about. So I have a big gripe with YouTube of these people that aren't electricians, and I can clearly see that, because they would colour code it, because the whole basis of electricity is that the wires are colour coded so that it goes to the correct component or part of the of whatever you're wiring has to be correct, because once you start crossing wires, you're in serious trouble. So I'll show you what's wrong with this machine, but I'll show you first what's right with it. One thing you never see on YouTube is one of these. This is a circuit tester and voltage tester, where you actually test all your wires and you make sure that there's no leaks, no potential of damage to yourself or being electrocuted. I've never seen one of these being used, so I'm always very suspect of people giving electrical advice without seeing one of these. This is a very basic kit. There are other machines that will tell you other things, but I work on a very basic level, and I'm happy with what I do, but there are times when I won't deal with things. But first of all, I'll show you the good points and the bad points about this machine. Okay, I'll just unplug it, just one moment. So you can clearly see the motor. It's the same motor that's used on the 2013, and the same lamp at the back, which was also on the 2013. Now, when I came to it, took all the wiring out, I just stripped it out. I always do that, and the reason for that is that I know that there will be a fault within this system somewhere. I'll just take the block off. And unfortunately, I've got rid of all the wires, thrown them out. But if you can see there, I'll just zoom in a little bit. This machine has been correctly wired by myself, and Singer ran on 3 colours, which was yellow, black and red. So each component, each wire should I say, has been colour coded yellow, black and red, and they are connected up. If I was to disconnect all this, a 5-year-old could put this back together without having to test anything, and it would, providing they went back into the same colours, the machine is safe. And I do this on all my machines, and I stick to what Singer advised. So I'll just pop this back up. I'll just screw that back down. And this cable came with this machine, and I'll just show you what I mean. This is the second plug I've seen, and if you look at it, these should be actually recessed. I'll just get that right. These should be recessed in, and what's happened is the person who's rewired this cable has got these the wrong way round. So these are exposed live. When this is plugged in, these are live. Now, if I was just to disconnect this from the machine and did that, in some of the properties I've seen, I would be electrocuted and most likely die, because I would then grip it and then I would keep getting the current, which would then kill. And just to show you how dangerous this plug is, and my point about all this is that when people say, oh yes, they are easy to rewire, this is what happens when you get it wrong. Now, I'm going to have to be a bit careful here, but here we go. That at the moment is live. This is my circuit tester, and you will see it rise on how many volts I've got here. And can you see I've got 230 volts coming straight through. I don't know if you can see that one or not. Okay, I'll just zoom it in a bit. So right, so that is a live circuit, and that would kill me. Okay, so come back again, unplug this, got to be very careful. And what happens there is that, you know, they've got it totally wrong. Second thing that is also bad on this plug is, and I'll zoom it in here again, here is what I was talking about. This is the rubberized, vulcanized rubber that is used that was used for insulation. It's now PVC, which is far better. And if I just scrape this is corroded, and it just comes apart, and you can't trust this. I can't trust this wire at all. So the thing is that this needs scrapping, which I'll do, which I should have done a long time ago. But I'll just come back. I'll just take this apart and show you what they've actually done here. Lovely sunny day, by the way. Okay. Okay. Let's screw that. Right. So what they've done is they put these in the wrong way round. Okay. How they should fit is like so. And they've actually put insulation tape round it. It's a real mess of a thing. It should actually now look like this, and this is the danger of an inexperienced person thinking they know how to rewire something, and basically they got that very wrong. Don't know if it's going to sit down or not. Yeah, it's going to just take a bit of work, but basically I will take that apart later, rewire it, and the problem is that this has got some form of UPVC cabling on the outside, which gives the impression that the inside is also UPVC, but it isn't. This has got rubberized, vulcanized rubber insulation inside, which is deteriorating and crumbling, which should never be used. And this is why you have to rewire your machines, and there can be no no choice about this, and you've got to take that into when you're pricing a machine up, how much it's going to cost to actually rewire. So people that are offering 2012s for £400, they can go whistle, because they're just simply far too expensive at that price, and you really do need to knock them down in price considerably if you want a 2012 or 2013, because they do need to be rewired, and I can't emphasize that enough. Now I'll just secure these, and then I'll go on to the warning about the 201s, 2s, and I'll just move these out of the way. 15. Right, so we've got 2012s, both made in Britain. This is a grounded or earthed machine. This is your standard wired Singer 2012. And the only way you can tell the difference is if I put a screwdriver there, your block for your electrics is off to one side, and the normal one is actual in line and in central to the actual machine. Now, if I was to get a standard power cord and put that into that machine and plug it in, this machine then becomes live, and this could potentially kill me. If I take a standard power cord, Singer power cord, and put it into this one, which is a normal Singer 2012, the machine will run fine. But I have to have a specially wired plug for this machine, so I don't get electrocuted. And I think it's a bit of a failing on Singer's part that they should have either remoulded this connector so that you would only get an earthing on this machine through this plug. They should have changed it, because potentially I could have just used, this machine could have come without a cable. I would have got a standard cable from this 2012, plugged it in here, and I could have been electrocuted. And the way I can show you that is that if I put that in the central hole and turn that over, and put that in there, I then get a circuit. And this is the whole point about this box of tricks. It tells you exactly what's happening to your wire, where it's going, if it's wired incorrectly, things like that. So I can work out which bit's which on here. So that is an earth lead, so that is making a circuit. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm getting a yellow light which indicates I've got a circuit there. This is totally unique. First one I've ever seen. I have heard of others coming. I did hear of one in New Zealand, but they are out there. So be extremely careful. And if I just remove the screwdriver's gone. There you go. Let's see. the wiring here is very different at the back. Also being colour coded. This is English standard earth wiring, which is green and yellow, and then you go back to the Singer red and yellow. Now the thing is that this is slightly different inside here as well, so I had to change it to a blue colour and mark the connecting knob, screw down knob, as blue, so there was no mishap that these could be then used on another machine. So they're all soldered up and totally rewired, compared to the other one, which is also that one's been wired to the yellow, black and red standard wiring. This is very, very different. So this is another warning about these machines, that you have to know what you're doing with electricity. When people on YouTube tell you, oh, this is easy, you just do this and do that, I'm extremely skeptical of that, and I'm extremely cautious encouraging people on just wiring this machine. Please get an expert in, get an electrician in. It's simple for them. There is wiring diagrams with the manual, which is very, very easy, straightforward. It is an easy job for somebody who knows what they're doing, and I'd be very cautious about it. You have to know what you're doing with electricity, and as you can see, somebody wired up a power cable which effectively would have killed somebody, and they thought they were doing it correctly. So that's my warning about electrics and sewing machines. They're not to be messed with, and you do have to know what you're doing. And the day I see somebody using one of these on YouTube, I'd be a lot happier, but they're not. And in that case, I'm sceptical of them. Thank you very much for watching. Bye now.